In this video, we'll take a quick look at the main features of the IPEVO Visualizer software. We will focus on the toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen. To expand the toolbar, click on the hamburger icon in the top left corner. The first option is the Select Camera button. In addition to allowing you to select the camera you want to display with your visualizer window, you also have access to some quick settings depending on the camera that is selected. Next is the Zoom option. This allows you to zoom in on your subject. You can also use the zoom buttons on your IPEVO camera to change the level of zoom. Next is the option to rotate and mirror the image. Using the wheel, you can adjust the angle of your image to best display your subject. In addition to using the software, you can use the rotate button on the camera to rotate in 90-degree increments. Along with rotating, this option allows you to mirror your image on the horizontal or vertical axis. The next option is resolution. You can display your image anywhere from 640 by 480 all the way to 3264 by 2448. Higher resolution will provide a clearer image, which is especially useful when zooming at high magnifications, but comes at the cost of higher processor use on your computer. For the best performance, set your resolution to 1280 by 720. Next up is the exposure setting. This setting changes how much light the camera takes in, which will change the brightness of the image being displayed. This can also be changed via the buttons on the IPEVO camera. The next option is white balance. This setting will change the white point of your image. You can make it incredibly warm, where it has an orange tint to it, incredibly cool, where it has a blue tint, or anywhere in between. I've found that using the camera's auto white balance works great. Next is one of the most important options, the focus setting. When the setting is opened, we see the familiar slider with the left hand being an infinite focus meant for objects further from the lens, to the right hand side being a macro focus, meaning the subject is incredibly close to the lens. There are also autofocus settings represented in the two circle options. The first is AF-C and the second is AF-S. These stand for autofocus continuous and autofocus single. AFC, or continuous, will constantly adjust the focus to try to ensure the subject remains crisp when displayed. AFS, or single, will focus on the subject once, and then hold focus in that position until you click the focus button to adjust again. Both have their use cases, but I would suggest using AF-S, as I have found that using the continuous mode will try to focus on my hands when adjusting the subject or writing on a piece of paper, which causes the image to blur for a second or two before finally going back to the subject. To adjust focus, you can use the button in the bottom right corner of the screen, or use the button on the IPEVO camera. Next, we have the video filters. These may seem inconsequential, but they can greatly improve the visibility of the image being displayed. You can adjust these by selecting the filter you want, or by cycling through with the buttons on the camera. After filters, we have grid lines. This will overlay various different lines on your image, from a single horizontal or vertical line, all the way to a 16 by 16 grid. The next option is fairly self-explanatory, the freeze live image, which freezes the image being displayed. Finally, we have the toggle for the LED light. Simply click this to turn the light on or off to better display your subject. This can also be done via the button on the camera. And that's it for the main features. There are some other neat features you can do with Visualizer, such as recording videos, taking pictures, or even annotating on the screen.